Hi Kashyap,
Hi, hi.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All well, thank you. How's the team doing? How's the cohort doing, I should say?
Cohort is going well. Just one second. Yeah, sorry. We've got someone else.
Yeah, sure.
So the cohort is doing well.
Mhm.
Going at a good flow.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
team is doing good now.
Okay, that's nice. Nice. Is it all on site now? Is everyone joining in person at the?
Actually, it's a little hybrid mode right now because few of the startups are not based out of Hyderabad. There are a few startups from Pune, Bangalore. There's one startup from Jaffna, Sri Lanka.
Okay.
So these guys usually join virtually. But other than that, all the startups that are based out of Hyderabad are coming down to T-Hub and for any training
Indeed.
sessions.
Yeah, it helps actually because they also get that co-working space and access to so many facilities. It makes sense coming down.
Yeah, once they come down, the interaction also will be very much different
Yeah.
compared to virtual. So yeah, it's been some founders did feel that coming down had was good for them.
Mm, very true. Hi Raghu, how are you doing?
Hey Lakshmi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Long
How's
time no
everything?
hear,
I
sending
know.
you. I'm sorry.
I'm that's a sticky. It's been a long silence. I was wondering. So I was wondering what happened. Is it because you all are very busy, or what was how's the cohort doing? I was asking Kashyap that.
Oh yeah, going well. But no, you said that you were occupied with something for the next 2 weeks, so we did not want to disturb you.
Oh, that's so kind of you. I was wondering. I said, what happened? No, thank you. That's really nice, and it's good we're meeting up today. And I thought we could discuss important things and see how to go about it. You know. And so I know I also sent you in between a word copy of the agenda. I thought maybe if you had
Really?
got some time, yeah, can you just check one of your mails? Maybe before Kashyap sent me an invite, there is a mail I sent in which I attached the Word document because I thought you could modify it.
Oh yeah, draft DT sessions. Yeah, we missed.
Because
Okay,
it's
yeah.
difficult
This is the
doing
same
video.
thing that was okay. We missed this somehow.
Yeah.
Anyways, what happened was we did do some homework on the stuff that you presented to us, and we had our thoughts. So if I can share my screen, probably I'll just take you through that, maybe four or five pointers.
Yeah, that'll be good, please.
Yeah, just a second. I need screen sharing, Kashyap.
It's limited also over there.
Sorry?
I thought even at T-Hub it is limited. You know?
No, it is. Definitely not. We can't do all of this with limited stuff. All right, just a second.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible, and maybe we need to mark. Yeah, now I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So one thing was, since we wanted to do the entire session on Miro, we checked Miro access to all participants, so we can generate a link with a password and then give them edit rights, and all of them can edit it at a time. The only thing that we need to check is there a limit on that? So ideally it should not be.
Do you have an enterprise account, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, then it shouldn't be a problem at all. Only there's one caution, and that is if you've got other Miro boards which have been set up, not this one, but the other ones. When they get access to this, they could get access to that also. So those you might need to do something. Either you need to lock it, or you might need to, put some kind of a thing. That's the only concern which you've got to be careful.
Okay.
That's the thing.
So we'll figure that out. And one other thing was, immediately after the introduction to design thinking, we are doing the more of a breakout room kind of exercise, right? We thought, could this be a common session, because they need to get a little used to the instructor, and they need to understand what design thinking is. So I thought maybe it is good if we could do more of an individual open exercise before going into a breakout room.
Definitely, let's do that. It's nice you've written it could be a common breaker session. Correct. Let's do that.
So that, and so the other things that I wanted was, so any prerequisites that these people need to work on or come with some basic homework that they have to do?
See, I would recommend that they all know how to use the Miro board.
Okay.
And it's nice if, normally what do we do when we are opening up the Zoom links? I also keep my Miro board open. So that I just very quickly, while I'll be screen sharing, it's important that they should also go into the Miro board and they should also work on it.
Okay, so the expectation is that they are looking at the Miro board individually, but also looking at the shared Miro board that we are working on.
Yeah. Say, for instance, I do a common input I give, or I'm giving a few instructions. They'll all come together and the Zoom space, and they'll be looking at the Miro board.
Correct.
But then the moment they've got to put it on post-its or work, they'll go into it. Then it becomes. And the other prerequisites would be, I think nothing much. I think it's important. I don't know if you all were able to get some time to think about the challenges, because I was thinking of some easy and some kind of fun challenges, like design your first day at work. We normally do funny things. Design, suppose you've had an experience, design of your first day of work, or design your first day at T-Hub, or things which are very comfortable, which they all can. So maybe I can give you a list of few I've put, and maybe design your first day when you're actually catching a flight post-COVID. How would you like it? How would you like to design it?
These are all, these seem to be very interesting situations.
Just very easy, comfortable, so that they'll focus more on the principles of design thinking, the mindset, the process, and they won't get caught up so much with catching a post-COVID flight. How to, for me, first design your first day at the airport post-COVID. Yeah. design.
Meeting portraits after a long time is not too exciting. So I thought.
Yeah, maybe. No, let it be. Lots of ideas we can put up and then we can just decide. And then I was also thinking, I don't know if you have any kind of major issues you see around T-Hub. Like say, how can you...
Is this a good enough challenge? How to build a sandcastle? I always wanted to build one. I mean, the actual sandcastle, not the mount. But we see these sandcastles in movies, right? I wonder how they do it.
Yeah, true. Building a sandcastle. No, I think this will be more thing.
You want it to be business-like or?
Yeah, I want it to be very generic, and I wanted to have the word design or redesign.
So meeting redesign after a long time is.
When you say after a long time, you're already bringing in element of it's got already. It has to be an open-ended challenge. So that is what or you can also have maybe maybe we can have. I have written a few. I said design a house that a doctor prescribes for you.
Design a house
that a doctor prescribes for you.
House that a doctor prescribes
for you. Yeah, a little bit tough. Design a spoon.
So the doctor prescribes what kind of house you have to live in.
Yeah, design a house that a doctor prescribes for you. We just keep a few challenges. Then design a spoon that can be used as a self-defense
okay, you weapon. Want more of a design kind of design a spoon
design a spoon as the spoon with which we eat. Design a spoon that can be used in self-defense. Design a TV that can hang from the ceiling.
Yeah.
And okay, so a few things which we can keep adding to it. And I was thinking maybe okay, so let's have put in a few more things and then we can select, because we'll need.
What about this hiring your first candidate?
I would actually turn it and say that maybe we should say design your first day at work. Design your first day at work.
Design your first day with Lab 32, is that fine?
Yeah, that is good. Design your first day with Lab 32.
Basically, it comes out of their expectations, right? So
yeah,
then get around there.
And what I'm saying is it's going to add a lot of value for your work.
Correct.
Maybe you felt you've created a very good experience, but maybe they could have found so many other things. It's a very nice. And the other challenge I've given is design your first day at work. Design your first day at work. Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe make it a little harder.
Yeah. It should be an EV vehicle that 12 people can fit in.
EV.
Yeah, it should be an EV. That's a challenge then.
Design an EV vehicle, whatever it might be. It might need not be a car particularly.
It can be anything, but
anything.
12 people is quite a load. I'm just thinking of how the battery will work.
8 people can fit in. I think 8 is a stretch.
Okay,
since already people are doing, so 8 is a stretch. So yeah.
Okay. So I think we can maybe put in some more. We can put in some more ideas, and then there could be 2 options. So if there are going to be 4 teams with 5, you said you have how many? 20 cohort members.
20, yes.
20. So we can have about 4 teams with 5 members each, 5 team members. And we can either distribute these or we can tell them to choose. But the problem is then again, so maybe we should from it only select and ask them to, we can put for each team.
Yeah, so we have 5 into 4 teams, right? So
Yeah,
we can allocate one design challenge to each team.
one design challenge. Yeah, I can add some more little later. I'll do some more, and I was just putting in a few thoughts and ideas. But then you all can sit as a team and just decide which team to give what challenge. We can do that. So we have the one is the Miro navigation. We have the challenges which are ready. And the other important thing I think is normally we tell the team members to bring some coffee, bring some water, bring whatever they want to give them a level of comfort around them. Anything to eat or anything, whatever they want. It has to be a level of comfort for them, even in their own virtual space.
Anything to eat means that we'll only hear munching, Lakshmi.
Okay, no eating then. Coffee,
no eating,
water.
just bring coffee, water, or NA beverages.
Yeah. But I've not seen anyone drinking and doing design thinking. I've never seen if it's innovative or creative.
No, we will design a great agenda also, right?
Yeah.
Make it fun.
Yes, I think it should be fun, then it's good. So I think one is we have these would be then Miro, then it would be this. And it's also nice if generally speaking, you give them some kind of a preliminary thing that it's important that they all switch on the videos. And the second is they should not in between just, disengage or leave or, walk off. It's important that the team, they should be with the team right till the end. It's only for 2 hours. We do sessions for 3 days at a stretch when we do hackathons and all that.
Yeah.
So this is 2.5 hours is not much time. Yeah, I think it's good enough. And of course, very important, they shouldn't be working out of the cell phone. They all should work on the laptops. Because sometimes teaming thinks that they can engage on the cell phone on Miro. It's not easy.
Those are already our prerequisites. We ask them to keep their videos on and bring lappies. So we will mention it again anyways.
Yeah. So I think this, and what are the outcomes? I think I've mentioned the outcomes, if you can just go to the other, if you see on top, I'm referring the goalpost on top, changing mindsets. So the most important is I'm looking at embedding the mindset, because at the end of every group teamwork, I want them to understand what are the mindsets that they've learned out of it. So first, our goal is mindset more than the process.
Okay.
And when I was talking about influencing impact with sustainability, that's a little bit complex. So I wouldn't want to go into it because the challenges are very simplistic. But if we were to take up challenges which could have a wider impact, maybe as we go through it, progress through it, we might ask them if we had to create impact, how would we do it? If we had to build in sustainability, how would we do it? But that would be not now. I would look at first, outcome is changing mindsets. Second is exposure to new skills, models, and tools. That will be very important. Third is being better prepared for success. Fourth is influencing impact with sustainability, and I've got to see how to work that into, because this is a very core element of Lab 32's work. We want to embed that in the way they work, because they need to think future. They have to be future forward.
Correct.
I don't think they're thinking so much. Lots of people don't think about impact with sustainability.
They're not. Most of them start a business to make money.
Yeah.
Some of them have. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, sorry. Go ahead. Some of them
they start a business ideally to make money is one. See, the major motivations are money, or you are either frustrated with what's happening with your life or a job or at your workplace, and then you feel that you have better skill set, so you can do something better than what somebody else is already doing. So these are more of a negative kind of motivations, rather than, of course, maybe Facebook was started for dating, but then it turned out to say that it is connecting people across the world. Similarly, these people will transition into the impact mode at a later point in time. It might not be their vision as such, but the messaging at least will get there. So they will put out the messaging saying that, hey, we are a startup that wants to impact in these areas, although their ideals might not be that. But as we discussed all along, the ideology of Lab 32 or the outcomes are sustainability with impact.
Yeah, definitely, because that's what we do in all our design thinking, which I'm doing in Europe. We're doing in the SDG goals only. So I have to see how to weave it in. So if they decide on the challenges, then one session can really be on, when we're talking about mindsets, we can embed this in mindsets somewhere. I have to see how to bring it in, because that's crucial. This is the future thing, which is where we have got to work.
So, like, if I have to roll out an invite, and as part of the agenda, if I have to mention outcomes, except for the second one, I can mention all the other three, right?
Yes, changing mindset, exposure, and being better prepared for success. And I have taken this specially from Lab 32's vision. I've aligned Lab 32's vision with design thinking and brought it together. So I've done that because I see a lot of alignment, and yes. So I think we're going to be, this is going to be, that's why I put it as a goal post. And that's what. And then we have and then what are the other elements that you mentioned, which is a question, other questions? If there's a follow-up session, where do we stop? Okay. So the plan is, if we go to the design thinking phases, I'm thinking that, what are the outcomes?
Yes. No, that is reach the summit on top.
Yes, yes. Yes, that's what I would want them to do. So I'm just thinking that if we come to that diagram of design thinking, which I've created in those loops and those circles, or it's right on top. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm thinking we must focus on understand, observe, and synthesis. It's going to be a little bit tough, but that is all. That is the problem exploration phase. And then in the next, we'll come to ideate, prototype, test. Now, suppose we stopped at this. My expectation is two things, which I want from them. One is, out of all what they've learned in these three phases, and the mindsets and the skills and the tools, how are they applying it to their prototype, not prototype, but to their MVP? I would want to. One is, how are they making changes in their approaches?
To their product or
their
MVP.
I mean, what is the freshness of approach they're bringing? That's the whole purpose. You look at things at an alternative lens. That's what we want to teach them. That is one thing which I want them. So I want that phase of reflection, and they should use Post-its to put it up here, and we'll create a special space for each one of them to reflect and write. Based on this, how are they going to make changes to the way they're going to approach the MVP or go to the market, whatever they have in mind. And the second is, I would want them to also, when they come back, one is the process, second is a mindset. So when they come back, we'll have the same challenges. This time, I would like them to mix up the groups.
Okay, you want to change the groups for the second?
Yes, second one. In the sense, we will have, suppose there are 5 team members. We will have 3 who will be, or maybe 2 who will be new, 3 who would be from the old group, who are familiar with the challenge, 2 who will be new, so that they'll bring in a fresh perspective as we go in for the ideation. So we break this, there's sometimes we tend to think, sometimes we need to encourage people not to follow conformity, but to sometimes break through all these kind of barriers which might exist in terms of our method of thinking. So we'll do that so that we break through it, and it will just teach their mind, It's a good phase.
And do they have something that they have to work on before coming back to the next session, or?
Most important thing they've got to work on is just on the MVP and how they're applying the first 3 phases, the mindset tools to the MVP. That would be a core thing, so that then, and if they keep populating the Miro board, then you as a team can just watch. You're seeing the challenges as they're going through different phases in the week. Then you'll see a phase where they go through design thinking. For me, it's like a lab. When you say Lab 32, it's actually a lab for me. I'm trying to see what is the impact on their mind. Then you will know, after they've gone to the design thinking, how are they reorienting their thought process to look at the MVP. So that is going to be a very interesting phase, which I feel will be good to for us to document and to see what is the impact, because then that will feed into what should be redesigning our whole approach for again doing the whole session.
Right.
So I want it to be in a feedback loop, and I want it to be like a little bit of research, a little bit of inputs. Others sometimes we're just mechanically doing things and then wondering. Then I would really like feedbacks. For me, it is impact. For me, it is impacted at a different level. Am I impacting their minds? Am I impacting the way they're approaching? Is it helping them as they build their future as an entrepreneur?
All right. Okay. So one other thing was the ratio is like this. The theory is, I mean, it's 1:2. So we have like around 40 minutes of theory, 40 minutes of theory, and around 80 minutes of exercises. So do you think that's a good mix, or do we
You know
need to
why?
add yeah?
You know why we do it?
Yeah.
Because it's a design thinking should be minimum inputs and maximum they should be design doing. Otherwise, so much of talk takes place, and then what happens is it's actually action.
No,
So
my worry is, Lakshmi, what happens is whenever we try to do these 2.5 or 3 hour sessions with a lot of exercises, we somehow the speaker ended up spending more time on the theory and the exercises. We could not complete all of the exercises. So
no. Yeah, it's a very good point you've shared. No, we have to be time bound.
Correct.
You have to, what I will also do, I'll put those PP presentation also for each input. I'll put it up on the Miro board. They can consult it if they want to silently, I mean, those particular slices, but it has to be 10 minutes. You have to tell me, and timing is crucial in design thinking.
Yeah.
Both for the team and for the coach. And that's where I need your help, because at two levels, one is to really tell me that it is up, and I'll also have a timer with me. And the second is we need to keep a track of the teams. This is what we do. The teams feel it's incomplete. Even if half done, it's good to go. We just go fast and say, fine. Because
that's
that level
where we lose time is on them asking us questions about the challenge. Two, they are not ready yet. So they'll say, give me some more time, give me some more time. That's where we lose a lot of time and miss out on one or two exercises. So yeah.
So when I do the input, it will just be the what, why, how. And it will end with saying any questions. No questions, move into your breakout rooms very fast. And even when we always, like I was just to mention, even half done is good to go. So even if they're not complete, they have to come back. We have to have a quick sharing.
Is this enough 5 minutes you're giving for all teams? So you're talking about around 1.5 minutes for each team.
No, sorry. This 5 minutes which I give is within the it's one roughly it should be 1.5 minutes for each team.
Correct. So
do you want to increase it to 10 minutes? The thing is, it will go to 3 hours, and I'm trying to see how
they will not be able to absorb so
much. No, what do? We say that first, we tell them very clearly, when you come into the team space, you will nominate one team member. And the team member should very quickly, in 1 or 2 sentences or 60 seconds, tell what was the key output or key takeaway of the team discussion. Or what was the key learning. That's it.
All right.
And
can we reduce this 20 minutes? Maybe we can reduce it to 15.
Which one? Sorry.
The teamwork is 20 minutes is a long time, or can we bring it down to 15?
I don't mind. We can bring it down to 15, but won't they need some time to apply that process?
What happens with the other? So what happens to other stakeholders? So the instructor, that is you, and from Lab 32, what happens during this 20 minutes?
Yes. So I would invite everyone to go into the breakout rooms. Each one of us is with one team and observes how they're working through it.
All right. That's what I was thinking. Maybe I should just
and if they need, yes. And if they need some, ideally, sometimes I'm watching how they're discussing, and I put the video off, and I just hear them, so that when they come back, I get a good idea and I know that these are the inputs I need to give. And if they have a question, they'll say, okay, coach, we have a question. Can you help us? Now I'm just thinking, I don't mind if we do it 15 minutes, but you see, it's the first time they're doing it. They're trying to get a familiarity with the group, and we can do it. If we have a very simple challenge, we can do it also. And we can use those 5 minutes for team sharing.
Correct. So what I was thinking is limit the overall timing and then move 5 minutes away from the teamwork to the sharing.
Yeah.
That way, everybody gets 2 minutes to speak, or the leader, as you said, will get 2 minutes to speak.
Yeah, I mean, they can nominate and we can have just 2 minutes to speak, and very quick. They have to learn to be brief and quick. It's like a pitch. You just give 3 key points. So what were the key learnings or whatever it is. Okay. And also on the My Report, they would have documented all the key thoughts. So that's another thing. When we go into the breakout rooms, there will be a tendency for teams to keep on talking. And I want them to learn that, listen, first in the breakout room, each team member takes 1 minute to quickly put your thoughts on a post-it and put it up onto the My Report. Then have a discussion so that we don't lose it. So that's something that we will have to do together as a team.
So I have one more question here then. Is there a format to the challenge? How do they have to present it? So they have a post-it note. Do they need to jot down the pointers, or how do they approach this?
Okay, I'm trying to understand. Okay, if I've understood it correctly.
So let's take a challenge here. Design your first day at work. What are they supposed to do, these 4 members?
So when they look at this, and suppose they're in the understand phase, they're going to first sit as a team and understand, okay, what do we mean by first day? What do we mean by work? Then they're going to, you could do a semantic analysis and break up. Now, then the first thing is each team member will quickly write on posters, what are their thoughts on. So there will be a space, there will be one thing which talks about first day. First day could mean something different for each team member. What does work mean? What does design mean? They will quickly write down their thoughts and quickly share. Once they share to individual level, then they'll quickly arrive at a common understanding at a team. Okay, let's agree that first day means the first time when we took up a job, when we left college and joined the workplace. And let's talk about work as a place where we got permanent employment, not temporary employment. You know, they'll start defining the parameters and design. They're basically trying to understand and develop a problem statement. But the problem statement will come from an individual understanding to a common understanding.
So then, do you think it is a good thing to maybe show them how it is done once, or give them some pointers on a slide saying that, hey, this is how we give an example of a challenge and then say, this is how we worked on it, and this is the approach that you need to take? Yes,
definitely. So they're going to be in my presentation. I'm going to always give an illustration, you know, in which I will show exactly that this is how. When we talk about the how phase, always one example will be given where we'll say this is the thing and this is how it was done. So that's a very good idea, and that is a common thing which sometimes teams find it challenging. And I always have to keep reminding myself that I have to give an example. So normally in the presentation, there will always be one slide which gives an example. And you can tell me, like, I can just give them simple examples. There are lots of examples which are there, which we have done, both from the social sector, from the for-profit, not-for-profit sector anyway.
Maybe so I'll give an example. Run through 1 or 2 simple examples saying that, hey, this is how you need to approach it. And then we can just let them, you know, rampage on their own.
Yeah, you know, there are 2 ways of doing. One thing is that what happens if I just give all the phases at one go, all the 3 phases, and tell them, then it becomes a bit too complex for the brain, and it's like a journey which was slowly unfolding and teaching them to think differently.
Yeah.
So possibly I'll give a different example for every phase, a different example for understand, a different for observe, a different for synthesize. Correct. And every presentation will have definitely one example. And you're right, That's a very important point for me to note, that this presentation
Because
should
they will
have,
waste 10 minutes understanding what to do, and then we'll have to push the end time, and it will go out of control. So I don't want that to happen.
So you can imagine sometimes when it's a physical workshop, it's all lot easier. In a virtual workshop, sometimes we just lose people.
Correct.
Yeah. No, definitely. In fact, that is why you're my eyes and ears. You will have to keep looking and telling me, okay, where is it not going right? And we have to quickly take proactive steps to.
Correct. So we can be communicating on Zoom. We can do direct messaging, so that is possible for our communication, so that we can keep things on track. I think probably the second session they will get a hang of things. Oh, this is what design thinking is. This is how you need to approach a challenge, and then they cross the synthesis part and move into the ideate part. So maybe the second session will be a lot more comfortable for them. But this will definitely be something that they're not experienced previously. So it will be more of like a, what do you say, shock.
Is that so? In fact,
I'm thinking.
In fact, synthesis is going to be a very tough phase. Yeah. Most teams find synthesis so difficult because we teach the teams that you're getting all these qualitative observation after conducting your interviews. We teach them how to neatly put it into a grid, and then we're teaching them how to draw meaning from it. And that meaning making is so critical as you go into actually developing. What is your point of view? What do you think your user wants? What are his pain points? And we're trying to center on it. So that is a little, or developing a persona. I'm sure they all would have actually developed a persona. They must be having something when they develop the MVP. So then they'll align it, but also they will learn what do they need to reconfigure or rechange when they develop the persona. Often it's based on assumptions.
So some of these few startups, not a lot of them, maybe 2 or 3 of them are actually, they're beyond MVP. So they are already doing revenues, and so, but they're doing it very
haphazardly. Business model. They've gone to developed the business model canvas and all the things they've gone.
Yeah, they've all gone through that. Even before joining the program, these guys are already doing some level of revenues, but these revenues are very haphazard. So you understand, right? So initial business out of excitement, you don't have any operations or hiring process, anything of that sort, or sales funnel. You just go and pitch, and some early adopters come and pick these products. So there are some people who are also doing around 65 to 70 lakhs per annum also, and for a start. But again, whether they're following all of the things that need to be done, definitely not.
Yeah.
So this is all transient initial I call it enthusiastic demand. So somebody is enthusiastic about your product and they buy it, but then slowly the demand falls to petrol because their product market fit is not right.
Yeah, and some way it's very reactive, the way they are analyzing and working through it. And that's why I feel some way that value proposition map will really help them also. And that's something we'll bring in a little later when I go into the synthesis phase and show them that structure. I hope they use it to rethink a bit about the approach and the mindset. Now we'll try it out. There are going to be a few challenges, but if we just ensure timing is all okay and the teams understand the instructions, and if there are any questions, we also go into the breakout rooms and see how it's progressing, and we keep in touch with each other. It's so nice that you all are there. Sometimes I've single-handedly done it and I've jumped in and out of breakout rooms.
Oh, we will get in as many volunteers as you want.
Okay, that's
our SA team is like 12 to 15 members, startup innovation department. So they handle other programs and stuff. So if we require any additional hands, we can always call them in.
No, that's really wonderful. What we can do, I think, Raghu, I would feel that we'll reduce that 5 minutes there and put it into team sharing, because it's more important that they express their thoughts and their ideas. Yeah. It might be that when they do that teamwork, they won't complete it totally, but still we have to proceed with whatever they have an idea. And we'll see how it progresses, and then we can iterate. We ourselves as a team can make changes and improve as we grow. I mean, we'll apply design thinking to ourselves based on how it's, because it's always a new, it's the context, the teams, everything is different.
Correct.
So we can do this. And so I was thinking so the one is the agenda. The only change we'll make is we'll reduce that.
Yeah.
And
the first one will be more of an open icebreaker than
yes, that's
icebreaker.
important. We'll have an open icebreaker. I can make the changes to the agenda and send it across to you again for you to just have a look so that I don't miss anything. And the other thing, you've written it also over here. And of course, we'll have reduced the 5 minutes.
No, this one we didn't discuss, Lakshmi, actually. So now the question that I have is, this is open icebreaker. This is taken care of. So this is observe. This is the second stage and third synthesis, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
so we'll have wherever you have a star, the star is the 3 stars, which is basically when they'll go into the breakout room. So one is understand, observe, and we'll have synthesis. And whenever we have these little people together, I put it as sharing, common space sharing. And the single one, I put a symbol to say, okay, this will be inputs.
Yeah. And now it is clear. So since these are related to 3 different parts, then the structure is fine. I was thinking there were too many breakout rooms, so maybe one of them can be made into an individual activity, but I deleted that now. I understand.
Because each phase will have one, because every phase will be different.
Yeah.
And
no
I'm just thinking.
And the teams will be the same, right? Teams will be the same for each.
Let's keep same teams. Others there will be a lot of they will say we did this then, now you're saying this. So let's have the same team for 2.5 hours, 3 hours. Sure. But when we do the next phase, by that time you would have got, we'll think through it. And maybe I want to bring about, because it's creativity when you have diverse teams and when you bring in diverse thought processes. So when we change the teams, it always helps.
Yeah. And we still have time. So 1 second, let me just pull up the. Is my screen visible, or you're still seeing the microphone?
No. I'm seeing your screen, the calendar now.
So yeah, this is where I place them.
Okay, you're thinking of a Sunday. Was when I was going to suggest to you. I'm so happy it's a Saturday or a Sunday. Sunday is great.
So we've left 2 weeks gap, thinking that these guys might have to work on something before coming back for the second session. So
yes, they must work.
24th and 10th is what we had in mind. You let us know if it is feasible.
You're thinking of October 3rd and 17th.
No, this is 10th. This is 3rd. This is 10th, and this is 24th.
10th and 24th, and they both are Sundays, isn't it?
Yeah.
We can and as long as it's a Saturday or a Sunday, Raghu, because it's easier for me. I mean, I don't have any commitments. 10th is a Sunday and 24th. Oh, 24th. Okay.
Let me know if
can we do it on the 31st? Can we do it on the 31st? If not the 24th, can we do it on the 10th?
31st is closure. Lab 32 is cohort will close. We can still do it on 31st, right? Yeah. We can.
Is it okay? We do it on the 31st.
But I'm worried about the gap. Will these guys forget everything that was learned?
Yeah, it's quite a long gap. So can we, or another option is we do on the 3rd and the 17th. Or we do it on the 10th and the 20th. No, 20th.
No, 3rd and 17th is also fine.
3rd and 17th, can we do?
Yeah. So I'll move this to 3rd. 11 to 1:30, right?
Yeah, let's do it. Is it a good time? Do they get up by then? Because I find Sundays everybody wants to sleep. It's very difficult for. Is 11 o'clock a good time?
Yeah.
You must ask your team. If they say it's a good time, then it's good time for the others also. It starts with the team.
We are always available.
3rd and the 17th. Because now, Raghu, I'll have to do it only on a Saturday or a Sunday. Because weekdays are getting a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, these people are not available on weekdays anyway.
Okay. And because in between the 2 weeks, they have to work on applying it to their MVP or whatever. It could also be any any kind of approach, because design thinking is not only on products, it's also on processes, on services, on their team, on their organization, anything it is. It works across all the spectrums.
Correct. 1 second. Yeah, let me just update this. Yeah. So one is on the 3rd, one is on the 17th.
Yeah, one is on the 3rd and one is on the 17th.
Yeah, right. That should work. I guess, yeah, that's about it. I do not have any other questions. You have any thoughts?
No, I don't have anything. What I will be doing for you will be totally pro bono. Okay. I cannot take any payment from you.
And why is that?
I'll tell you that. I'll tell you more later.
Okay.
Okay, because of certain kind of things I cannot, and I'm doing it totally out of because of my interest and keen desire to make a change for them.
Thank you so much for the lecture.
No,
we appreciate it a lot.
No, really. So I thought first is that, and what we'll do is that you just let me know. Yes, on many of these, I thought it would be nice if one of your team members could just put the Lab 32 logo everywhere, so that it is a teamwork. I'm going to put it as a team thing. I'm going to change the agenda. It is like a team thing that we come together to co-create the session.
Okay, so Lab 32 everywhere in the sense?
Like in the agenda, you must have Lab 32. And Welcome to Design Thinking should have Lab 32 logo. Even in the agenda, we'll have. I'll put up a new agenda.
No, but ideally, this is the platform, right, that we are going to use, or the agenda will be removed from this?
Agenda should be here. We will use the same. Yeah. We'll use this platform. Everything will be here, so that I want them to have the space that whenever they are relaxing, to go back and review it and say, okay, what did I do? Suppose my friend has given a different perspective, or this is the process, this is the mindset. I want them to have the face to move into the space and learn. And suppose they ask for some resources, I'll put the links over there. They can click on it and learn more.
Yeah, there is a
maybe your team members. Yeah, I've put resources and tools. Maybe your team would also like, somebody would want to say, okay.
What part is this? This is reflections at the end.
Yeah, at the end of it, I want them to write what did they learn. And when I say what I liked is basically what they found positive. But I wish is what we do in design thinking, suppose you feel something is missing, something was negative or wrong. We don't say I didn't like this. We normally say, I wish you had done it like this. So we try to create positivity. And I feel inspired is, I want them to link it up with the MVP or the go-to-market strategy. What is going to inspire them to think differently and to talk about how is it going to bring about a change in the whole approach?
We need 20 each, right? Under these sections. So there have to be 20 post-its. I wish 20 post-its.
Yeah. Okay. We'll put in 20 post-its there. And this is a very good point. Like, even as you as a team, when you go in there, you'll know what are they thinking. Sometimes it's very difficult to get inside their minds. They say a lot and it all goes into space.
Yeah. And then the resources and tools and templates will be mentioned here. That's it.
Yeah, I will be putting in resources. And parking zone is what is important is when we're starting the problem exploration phase. There's a tendency always, rather than focusing and going deep into the problem, we jump at solutions. So whenever they're going into solution, we have to tell them, listen, in the breakout rooms, write it down and just put that post-it here. Don't talk about it right now. It's a solution. We're not entered the solution phase.
Oh, okay. So they should not jump to the solution. They should wait.
Yes. Yeah.
That is, you also teach them patience.
Yeah, and we're training their mind that, don't, like, otherwise you'll be responsive, not reactive. Without understanding the problem, then you're very one-sided in your approach if you're directly jumping.
Should we divide this parking zone into teams then?
I just kept it open. Maybe we should do it into teams, you're right.
Yeah, team A, B, C, D, and then maybe 4 or 5 post-its. They can just write it down there.
Yes. I've put the post-its, I made it like little children so that they find it easier, so that they don't have to struggle. I put all the post-its over there. So we'll do that. I'll divide this into group things and put the post-its and all that. And I think otherwise it is thing. What I can do also is that we can maybe meet. Do you all work on Saturdays, Raghu?
Yes.
Because
we work. Ask us when we don't work.
No, I'm glad to hear that. That's nice, but it's important to take rest also, because you work with your teams on the weekend and weekdays. You must be catching up with other work. So if we can have another meeting, maybe on a Saturday,
Okay.
then maybe I can run you through the phases so that you can also give me a feedback that, are you understanding it? If you understand it, that means that the participants cohort will understand it. Has it got the examples that you felt were needed?
Can we catch up on 25th?
What is 25th? What is it a
Saturday? So you also get time to work on the content.
Yeah,
So we catch up on 25th.
Yeah, maybe we should do that. Let's catch up. I need a little bit of time. Let's catch up on 25th. Because then we will have directly the following Sunday, we'll have it. So we have to catch up on 25th.
Yeah.
And we can, I can do a quick preview of what we have. We can make any changes and see how to go about it. And what is the gender balance? I wanted to ask you. It's important that teams also have gender diversity.
Males, more males.
So do we at least have 4 women, at least 4 women?
Yeah, we have 3 to 4 women, right? Co-founders, yes.
Great. So one woman in every team. One woman in every team.
If they turn up, possibly. So we will do that. We'll try to bring in the gender, or we can include some team members from.
Yes, if you're running short, please have some women from your office who will come into the team.
Definitely.
So that we balance gender diversity, and also in terms of educational background, experience, and not having members from the same founding team together. Otherwise, you'll find a lot of conformity in the thoughts.
Got it. So we'll ensure that diversity, try to fill up the gaps from.
And also in age, if you can do it, it will be good.
You want these details on 25th?
No, I don't want the details. You manage it. I'm okay with it. As long as it's
Most
there.
of them are young. Most of them are young. Yeah, so 25 to 35, something of that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, doesn't matter. Just we can keep a balance. Then there's little we can do. We cannot. They can enjoy.
We'll figure that out. We will shuffle the teams in such a way that there is maximum diversity, and they're not working with people they already know. So that
not working with people they know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's all good. Yeah. Raghu, is there any other questions you have for me? Any of you, or you just keep.
Nothing as of now, but if there is anything, we will collate them and let's catch up on 25th again.
Yeah. In between, you want a quick thing or any question, you just keep sending it to me. I'll keep answering it. I don't mind. Sure. And I'll work on your Miro board so that we just clear it up then and then it works, progresses.
All right. Done.
Okay. Done. Yeah. Okay. Good. Then we're all set.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for the effort that you are putting.
Raghu, if it makes an impact on the work you do at Lab 32 as well as on the cohorts, I want them to go with that experience that this can add value to what they do. And it's coming also. So anything, I'm ready to help.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you to you too. To you and your team for being supportive.
No,
it helps me. It's a joint journey.
Yeah.
Okay. See you then. I'll be in touch. Thank you. Bye.